Hello everyone. I hope you are having a great day. Today we are going to learn how to fill up the vials that I recommend using for tasting. So there are two different vial options for you. There is a 4-ounce vial or a 2-ounce vial. There's bigger sizes than this as well if you prefer to use those. However, these are my personal favorite sizes. I use the 2-ounce for blind tasting practice, and I use the 4-ounce. This is typically going to be for wines that I don't want to waste any extra of, drinking wines, comparative tastings where I want to taste a little bit more than 2 ounces in case I need to go back and forth between wines to really drill into my head what each of the wine is supposed to taste like. So one of the most important things to remember when you're getting these vials, and again the ones on my link on the tasting site have links directly to these types, but you want to get the types with the polycone lid. So this polycone lid is going to displace any oxygen as well as wine as you go to put the cap onto the bottle. So let's look down here and see how I set this up. So here is a full setup for you, what it looks like when I go to do this. So the bottom of the bottles, the 2-ounce bottles, have enough room for a 1-inch round sticker. So what I do is I just buy these 1-inch round stickers. Pull this out so you can see it. And so these stickers just peel right off and go onto the bottle itself. So I will write what the wine is on the label. And then from there, once I've filled everything up, rinsed the bottles off, dried them off, I'm gonna put the label on the bottom of the bottle so I know what is in the wine. You can also do a code system for yourself. Some people will put like a code on the bottle, like AQ1764, whatever the case is. However, my brain is crazy, and for whatever reason, I can remember the wine that I put into the code when I see the code. So I do it this way because it's on the bottom. I can put my hand on the bottom, pour the wine into a glass, and never see what was in that wine. The next trick I do, in case you're like, oh, but now you have 6 bottles with the same wine in it, how do you know which ones are which? What I'll do is I'll put the vials all together. I keep the vials in the fridge, and before I finish them completely, I will put a rubber band around all of them so they're stuck together, and I don't pull the same wine out for a tasting and have 2 of the same wine while I'm doing a tasting. So these help a ton when it comes to that. So when I go to set up for filling the vials, I'm going to set them up in a nice straight line right next to the sink. The reason I do that is this is quite messy, and it's easy that way, so you can just kind of push the wine that you miss into the sink. You can easily rinse off the bottles, and then I have a towel here that I'm going to put the vials on to make sure that they stay nice and dry. And then after they're dry, I put the labels onto the bottom of the bottle. What's important is you don't open the bottle until you're ready to put it into the vial. The least amount of oxygen contact as possible is ideal. And what you're gonna see me do is I'm gonna pour the wine into each of the bottles, and then I'm gonna cap it as quick as I can. If you have 2 people, it's great for 1 person to pour and a second person to cap. But if it's just you and it's kind of hard to pour and cap at the same time. So the best way is just to pour steady and then to quickly go through and cap all of the vials once you are finished pouring. So from here, I'm going to open the wine. I always keep a glass next to me. I'm going to test the wine just to make sure it's perfect condition before I put it into the vials. and it tastes the way it's supposed to, and it is not corked. So from here, I usually use one hand just to support, and you are going to pour with a steady as a stream as possible into the vials. When you pour into the vials, you want to make sure that you pour over the lip so that there is basically a meniscus that is above the vial. This will make sure that when you go to put the polycomb cap in, that you're displacing wine and there will not be any more oxygen contact for that vial. And just finish pouring. If you do this nice and quickly, for me, these vials last for, I've had some of them last up to a year, but at least they last a couple months. For me specifically, they last longer and hold their condition a lot longer than using a Coravin. So from here, I'm gonna really quickly, as fast as I can, go through and put all of the lids onto the vials. Again, you have the wine filled, so there's a meniscus. So the polycomb cap will displace the wine and you won't have any oxygen contact with the wine itself. So just go through, make sure all of the lids are nice and tight, and I run cold water and just rinse each of the bottles off so you don't have the wine contact with them as it gets sticky in your fridge. And again, it does get a little bit messy, so the reason why I do it right next to my sink is I can just take my hand and push all of the wine right into the sink. From here, I have my towel ready to go, and I'm going to wipe off each of the bottles. Make sure the lids are nice and tight, and then take my 1-inch round stickers. I will write what the wine is on the sticker itself. I usually just put the vintage, the type of wine, and the quality, if there's a quality to indicate, and the alcohol level percentage. And I usually don't put producer on the sticker itself. And then from there, the sticker just goes onto the bottom of the vials. And then you stick your rubber band over the lot of them so you know you're not pulling two of the same wine. They are all stuck there right together, nice and easy. So again, just to reiterate, with your vials, you're gonna fill the wine to the meniscus. So it's gonna be a little over the lip, which means it's going to get messy. You're gonna place the polycomb cap on as quickly as you possibly can. You're gonna rinse the wines in cold water, dry the bottles off, stick your sticker on the bottom, or use your code, however filing system you wanna specifically use. And then each of these bottles is going to go into the fridge so you have longer shelf life for each of the vials. So I hope that helps for everyone. I hope you all have a great time filling your vials. What we tend to do is, as a group here in Vegas, we all get together here at my house. I'll source as many of the wines as I can, and then we'll all pitch in money. Everybody will come over, fill the vials that they are able to fill, coat it the way that they want to coat it, and that way, one, it limits the expense that you have to pay. Two, everybody gets to have some of the same tastings. You can Zoom or FaceTime each other, pull wines, do blind tastings in front of each other through Zoom, especially right now with COVID and everything happening. It's very easy to do tastings with each other just through Zoom because you know what wines you guys have. You can just show the person the bottom of the vial, make sure you're looking away. They can be like, this is wine number 1. They can write down what it is, and then you can taste for them, and they can grade you based on knowing what the wine is. Or you could do it double blind. You can just describe the wine. They can try to figure out what it is from you describing it. Then you guys can look and see what the wine is and discuss it from there. So I hope you all have a great time tasting. I hope this was helpful for you, and see you next time. Have a great day. Happy studying.